To our Monday night webinar. We're excited to be discussing where are the buyers, and they're out. I've got Shannon Hall here, who's the managing broker of Best Choice Realty. I'm Rochelle Wilhite, designated broker of Best Choice Realty. We're going to be giving you guys some ideas tonight that will hopefully help improve your business or enhance your business or just maybe get yourself started. If you're jumping in here, we're in March 2026, already spring season. Spring is next week. So we're excited about what's in store for our clients, our buyers, and just for you all looking to build your business. So we're going to, if you have questions along the way, you can shoot them in the chat. We will try to get to those. We do have about 30 minutes worth of content tonight. But certainly if there's a question that
I can't hear you, Rochelle. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yep. I think we're good,
Sean,
Anna. I think you'll have to check your audio,
me?
Anna. Yep.
Check your audio.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So we're just going to go ahead and get started about where are the buyers, and let's go to the next slide.
So one of the first questions I think we're getting right now, where people are questioning, where are the buyers? Why I just can't get business? Where are they going? One of the first things I think that it's not talked about and probably should be is where agents should be spending their time and their money, right? And I think one of the best things to kind of start is my background a little bit. I guess Rochelle and I, our dad was a CPA, he was an accountant. And so we had this kind of as our backbone when we built Best Choice and we started doing real estate, is we had kind of this in the back of our minds. But I think a lot of real estate agents, they don't. So if you don't have a budget for this year, and I've had some agents already reach out to me at the beginning of this year saying, how much should I be spending on these different types of activities, or what should I be squirreling away? Here's your budget. If you don't have one, this is your budget. It's very simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. So from a $10,000 commission, this is really what I would recommend you set aside for different types of activities. So from $10,000, it's real simple. We'll keep it real simple for you. $1,000 you should set aside for retirement and future. You never know, have that rainy day fund, that sort of thing. $2,000 reinvestment, advertising, listing expenses. That's really your marketing budget. And we're going to be spending some time talking about that today, really, truly. $3,000 of your $10,000 should be set aside for federal taxes. So it could be more or less depending on your individual circumstances, but I'd say that's kind of a good, your net amount that you can go spend on your living expenses and things like that. So let's talk a little bit about that $2,000 reinvestment. If I had $2,000 as my marketing budget, where would I be spending that time and that money in my personal business? So that's really what we're going to be talking about today.
So branding, I've been taught since the beginning as well. Shannon, the number cruncher, I'll give her that. She can, but I'm excited. I mean, tools out there now, right? There's all these shiny pennies out there where they say they'll help me build my brand or help me with lead generation. They kind of cloak these words into different things.
So be very cloaking down.
Somebody that wants to build their business has all the right intentions. You do need to know the difference between branding versus advertising. Branding is basically putting your picture on something and just putting it on the World Wide Web or on a flyer, in this case, a flyer.
This would be building a logo, maybe that fancy logo you've always wanted to do, getting the new signage that you wanted to do.
Yeah, that's branding. But
that's
branding. Advertising would be more of like lead generation, things you can do. And sometimes it doesn't have your picture on it, but it's an idea or it's something to attract an audience or a demographic or something like that. And that's what we want you to get on board with tonight, is understanding the difference between branding versus advertising. There's a lot of people that get stuck in the branding and say, well, why am I not getting leads? The reason they're not getting leads is because they don't have an advertising plan. They don't have a process in which to get the word out of what they're doing and how they do their business. So that's what we're going to share with you tonight. But these are two simple, there's a flyer here, and Michelle's no longer in the business. She's retired now. But when she was in my class a long, long time ago, she understood very, very quickly. She actually got more leads with the one on the right, with the guy with the little face. When she went door knocking, she would get more business out of yikes than she got out of the left side.
Yeah.
That's the difference between advertising or lead gen versus branding your mugshot or your
advertising
picture.
prompts someone to take an action. Branding is just something that, and it's not always pretty. Sometimes the best advertising pieces are actually some of the worst looking ones that are out there, but they get people to take an action.
So who are we going to advertise to? You know, if we talked about a system.
Again, we've got that $2,000 burning a hole in my pocket. Where am I going to be
where
spending?
am I going to spend it? And I was looking at this pie, and I was a brand new agent, and I didn't have a sphere of influence. That pie goes, you know, it's people I interact with. I definitely don't have closed clients, so 5.3% goes away. And I think sphere of influence, that's referrals of sphere of influence. So it's like a lot of sphere of influence is what it see. So where do I put my business? I mean,
Yeah,
there are some channels I can buy leads, the online leads. You can see even with paid leads that come from Zillow, I would say they have to be converted. You have to work them. But when you actually pay for them, maybe you pay a very, very high amount with Zillow or homes.com or these realtor.com, you pay a lot for those lead sources. And if you can convert one, then you can actually use them as your sphere and as your closed clients and as a referral source. So sometimes some of our agents have purchased from these lead sources for a short term. Once they built their sphere of influence and their audience or their closed clients or their sphere, which is the bulk of the business, then they decide to stop. And that's where we get a lot of the agents that come to Best Choice are building their business based on their sphere. Referrals, look at that vendor. That's pretty high too. So some people get.
Don't neglect your vendors. That would be your contractor that you work with all the time. That would be your plumber you work with all the time.
But having said that, Shannon, you don't want to be spending all your time,
right,
100% of your time with only your title reps.
Right.
You know, you may want to kind of branch out and figure out where, you know, where are your clientele? Where do they frequent? Do they frequent the coffee shops? Are they out? Are they at church?
Right. And the demographics do matter. I mean, if you kind of look, and I think I would challenge all of you, look in the last 12 months, when all of the sales that occurred for you in the last 12 or 24 months, where did they come from? Were they sphere of influence, closed clients, referrals? Where were they coming from? And once you kind of identified where they come from, what kind of demographics did they fall into? Are you working primarily with seniors, first-time homebuyers? The demographic does matter. And the reason for that is we want to obviously market to them in the way that they're going to be receiving information. So let's kind of take a peek at that. So how are we going to advertise is the next place we want to spend some time on.
Shannon and I were joking because, you know, she always says, well, consistency is key. Well, it is, but porpoising is very common. She meant to say porpoise is coming. Porpoise is very common. I think what she meant to say. So you need a system. I already said that earlier, but porpoising is that's what we have.
It's funny, we were joking earlier. This is actually not really a word. This is like an ism, even just that we use all the time. And the concept is the valleys and the hills. You know, real estate agents have this tendency.
They're dolphins, Shannon. That's what I've told her for years is they'll go up, they'll basically do something for a little bit of time, they'll go back down in the water, they'll do it, and then they'll come back up and go, oh my gosh, where's the buyer?
Business is doing really well. I'm closing a lot of transactions. And then, oh no, I was so busy closing all those transactions, I forgot to advertise, and now I'm back in the valley again.
So how do you fix that? You need a system. And a system like we have at Close will really put you in front of those people on a regular basis and a consistent basis. So you don't have the peaks and the valleys, or you're not a dolphin.
Yeah, we don't want to be porpoising. We want consistency for all of you, because obviously that translates into scalable and repeatable business for you and consistent income, really. How are we going to advertise? There's really 5 ways. That's it. There's only 5 ways you can advertise, 5 different mediums. The way that you show up in person. So if whatever events you're going to, if you're going to church, if you're going to the PTA, I mean, it doesn't matter. The way that you show up does matter. That's how you can convey information, is in person. One-to-one, which is that phone to text, and that's where close really comes in, is it helps really solve that one-to-one connection there. Picking up the phone, sending that personal text message. And that's the personal touch, right? That's what sets most agents apart. Where we kind of have some problems, though, with the lack of consistency is with email, mail, and social media. Email, obviously, there's systems like Close or Real Geeks or other CRM systems that are out there that can help solve for that and have consistency with your email campaigns. And then also mail, having something consistent, whether that's annually or monthly or quarterly, having something consistent that you can mail out to your database.
I see, Shannon, I see a lot of bad stuff. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna say the email, too many. I open my inbox and I'm gonna pick on the lenders right
Oh,
now.
I know. They send the same
It's
emails.
the same dang email like every month, right? It's like the
Two different lenders sending the exact same email. It's annoying.
It's boring.
Yeah.
Right. So we want to make sure that our email is authentic, it's fresh,
Personalized as much as possible.
as much as possible. And then mail pieces too. I got 4 mail pieces just last weekend. And this is in Idaho. It's funny because they have me on the list, right? I have a place in Idaho now, so I'm on some mailing list. And the postcards that I'm getting are also very, very, they're branded. They're not, there's
They're
not an
branding, they're
advertising.
not advertising, which would be they're showing that they just had a just sold.
Yep.
That I would just sold postcards, I would say, are branding pieces.
It's gonna take a longer
Versus, this is how we did it. Do you want to have this happen for you too? I mean, if you had the story of how you sold the property, that would be a lot more impactful, a lot more item of value that someone actually might take an action on. So yes, there's a lot of bad that's out there, but I think we need to focus on some of the good. So one thing that we're going to talk about here is really truly social media. I think this is I sat in a training earlier today with some of our newer agents, and it was interesting to me. It does not matter how long you've been in the industry. This is something I feel like we need to spend even more time on. I know it's annoying and people don't want to hear about social media, but it is needed. These are the stats that I just want to run through quickly. Nearly 90% of this is international, global users on the internet are active on social media. 90%, basically everybody is on some sort of social media, right? Globally, users are spending on average 2.5 hours a day on social media. So they're spending their time on social media, right? You as an individual don't necessarily have millions of dollars in your budget, but surely some of these marketers, these big corporate marketers do. 56% of marketers report that this is the biggest ROI is social media. That's where they would want to spend their marketing budget. And
so that's over half.
Over half would want to be spending their money on social media. 64% of them say that engagement is the number one metric to pay attention to, not the viewers. So I think a lot of us get stuck of, oh, it's not viral. Oh, it's not viral. It doesn't matter about whether or not it's viral. It matters about whether or not people commented or sent you a private message or a DM or whatever they want to call it in whatever system you're using. It's the engagement of the posts that you're putting out there.
So if you're not consistent, I have a lot of people, Shannon, that say, well, I don't really want to be on social media. I would beg to, if you're really trying to attract your sphere, then what other tools are you going to do to connect with a wide audience? And some people can make that work, but they have to have other means of basically getting out their social media.
Yeah.
Without going to the social media, because that's a huge number.
Yeah, I know. So some of the top these are the social media stuff that we're going to pay attention to tonight. There's some other ones internationally that people are using. I'd say these are the ones we get the most questions about is YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Which one? Are you telling me that I have to be on all of these, Shannon?
I think you should have some sort of account, whether or not you're posting on them. We'll talk about here in a second. But by and far, just real quickly, YouTube, it's really best for the long form video. So if you're doing walkthroughs or you're building educational content, stuff that's going to survive for a very long time online, posting them on YouTube is a really good idea. Because if people are searching for what are the best tips for XYZ, YouTube is going to be a great place for them to be searching. Facebook has the widest reach, best internationally, and it is really the best for lead generation. Instagram obviously is part of and owned with Meta. They're both owned by Meta. So they kind of fall in line with each other. Instagram is best suited for reels and carousels. I think a lot of people forget about carousels. They are also very important in many cases, just as much as reels.
Not hard to do, I found.
No, you don't even have to be on camera for those. That's just text, guys. Most users, so between Facebook and Instagram, you are getting a younger audience on Instagram. So you got to keep that in mind. That's your younger demographic. So if you're finding first-time home buyers to be your people, then maybe you need to be spending some time on Instagram, on TikTok, versus I'm working primarily with Gen X or maybe the boomers. Facebook and YouTube is probably where you're going to want to be spending your time. So hopefully that is helpful for you. Once you've kind of identified your audience, then you kind of know where you need to be spending some of your time. Regardless of all these different platforms, I do want to mention we have an excellent tool called SocialBAY that does have all of these different social networks connected. So if you're like, I don't know what to post, or I don't know what to do once I have them connected. I have Facebook, I have TikTok, but I don't know what to do with them once I have them. SocialBAY has integrations with all of those networks I just mentioned, and then a couple more as well. And it has a bunch of other features too.
It's going to keep you consistent. That's what I found with, we have over 75 accounts right now of other best choice brokers that are using SocialBAY for their business, and they're very pleased with it. We've had maybe one or two.
High adoption, low attrition on this type of product. It's one of those ones.
But they love the consistency. It keeps it. But I would beg you, if you are on SocialBAY, you got to push yourself and go a little bit more authentic, be a creator now that you have everything set up, and start to post things that's going to start to get your engagement to be higher. You don't want to look like everybody else. And I see a lot of you have been on for close to a year now. And you need to probably push yourself and say, okay, what other kind of content can I add that will also get my engagement up?
Right. So SocialBAY is going to give you, I think I've got it here on the next slide. It's going to give you the consistency in your content. Where you kind of come in is the content creator and saying, okay, what can I do that's actually personalized on top of what it's already? It's giving me a really solid foundation and base to work from and start from, where people who are subscribing or on my channels, they're seeing my stuff consistently. They're seeing me posting regularly, but maybe I need to do that walkthrough video, or maybe I need to do an educational how-to and kind of fill in the gaps of what I'm already doing. And those are the ones that you're going to get higher viewerships on, more engagement on, because it is personalized and customized.
And you could do the ad spend too, which we have done personally. Shannon and I, on our personal business, we decided to, anytime we have a listing, right, where we know we're going to get a commission, it's just a matter of time, we will allocate a budget, and it could be as simple as $100 on social media or on SocialBAY. And then we will promote an open house and just to provide, and we always get leads. Yeah. There has not been one time where we haven't gotten leads.
100%. I get more leads than I need to follow up with. That I want to follow up with. It does work every single time. And I think people are like, I'm just naturally going to get leads by having SocialBAY. No, you got to spend money to make money.
Bit of and use it with your listing budget as a way to make it make sense. But that's what we do.
And it doesn't need to be a lot. You could throw $5 at it and just see what that does for the weekend, right? Let's see. I think it just real quick, I guess it does post automatically, right? So it's going to give you that solid base, and then ad spend is optional. So if you see something in the back end and it is performing really well that is provided by SocialBAY, and you're like, that actually did perform pretty well, you can throw some ad spend on even some of their stock stuff and see what it will do for you too, and potentially lead generate is there.
My favorite thing also is that we've always touted that it's like a Canva type-esque system. It's a design studio. That's the reason I chose it, because it was so easy to connect with the IDX. And then we were looking for a better portal for you to create flyers and postcards. And I thought, shoot, this is like a game changer, because a lot of our agents were asking our marketing team to build the Canva templates for them. And I'm like, it's all right here. Yeah. You can even upload your own template in there, and it's going to pull your photos, your marketing remarks, your price, all of that right on into SocialBAY. So it is our tool that is game changer for us.
If you're doing something all the time, there's a way to scale what you're doing and make it even more efficient. So you can be spending more time maybe on that one-to-one, maybe on the in-person event, right? So it's scaling what you're doing and making it repeatable and scheduling just listed posts. I mean, I would argue that is again a form of branding rather than advertising. But it is something that you're doing regularly. There's a way that you can set up those types of templates in a program like this.
So I'm going to just kind of tell a secret. Somebody they love the secrets. Like, what's the secret? Why did somebody leave the business? One person left the business. about 7 years ago because she was spending way too much time. She took a week to build a flyer. I'm not joking. And she came into the office. I was in Tukwila. She walked in. She's like, I'm so frustrated because I haven't had a sale. And when we looked at her daily activities and what she was doing, this is before we had SocialBAY. This is before you could place ads really and get, leads coming to you and all of that. And she was spending so much time creating a flyer. And I was like, let's just change where you're spending your time and your money and building a system that makes sense. But she ended up leaving the business. So that kind of stuff happens, and I see it firsthand because they always come to me and say, what do I need to do different? How can I change?
Yeah.
And sometimes I get them too late.
Yeah, and we shouldn't be spending a week on a flyer. I mean, systems like this can build them in seconds. So it's more just kind of, oh, is this really what I want it to display, or do I want it to show that bedroom or bath or that price? It shouldn't take that long to build a flyer. It's more about what do you do with the flyer once you have it. I think that is more impactful.
And how do you lead generate with that flyer, right?
Are you door knocking? Are you going to send it in the mail to some people with maybe a CMA? I mean, I don't know. There's any number of ways, but it's the step after the flyer that is actually more important than the flyer itself.
So the marketing center that they create through SocialBAY, and I sorry to be it, but it's a great product. I mean, for the price that we pay for it, it's a game changer. You can do your postcard marketing. So we used to have a company called, in fact, we still do. And if you do want to use Core Fact, we do have a kind of a way, an easy platform you can do, bestchoice.corefact.com. But why do that when you already have a SocialBAY account that will build that for you? So I'm like, Shannon, we have it. She's like,
it's easier.
SocialBAY is so much easier because you can do the circle prospecting. It's all tied into
one
embedded.
Platform. Yep.
It does the QR code. It builds your landing page for you. So you control that versus another company that controls it. That's all very, very important. So if you're going to be doing postcard marketing, do it through the Bay, SocialBAY, and then create your flyers. I could sell the product just with the flyer creation.
Oh, I know.
I tell the story about
one
money
thing too, and I think that a lot of agents you are quite literally sending your listing and anything that maybe if you're sharing Redfin or Zillow or Realtor.com links on your social media,
that makes me feel like I want
to cry for you because you are quite literally sending them to your competitors. Those are real estate companies that are going to lead capture, which is what you should be doing. They're going to be lead capturing that information, and then they're going to be either selling it to other agents or they're going to be taking those clients themselves. So rather than using their link, you should be using your own and lead generate for yourself. So SocialBAY,
that's what they call the single property website.
That's what the single property website is. Branded website that is all about lead generating for more information regarding that property. So if a client wants more information, they're directed to you.
Go figure, right?
I know.
And then I love the free listing video. Most people love that it creates that automatically for you.
So if you're looking to do some advertising, and I highly recommend this, especially with listings, if you have a listing that's on the market, yes, you should be doing allocate some sort of marketing budget for the advertising, because the sellers are going to ask you, what are you doing to advertise my listing over and above than what the Northwest MLS or the Spokane MLS is going to be doing for you? And if you don't have a response for that, ouch, so SocialBAY will do some of this stuff for you. You can do this on your own. So if you do not have SocialBAY, you could advertise like this on your own and do your own pay-per-click
though, right?
Yes, you do have to have some sort of business page on Facebook or Instagram. Google has their own kind of pay-per-click ads you could do as well. SocialBAY just makes it easy. So if you're not familiar with doing pay-per-click campaigns, they make it very, very simple for you.
They basically do it for you.
Click.
You just put the budget in, and then they can.
I've done ads myself through Meta and through Google, and it's what kind of has happened that just the things have changed a lot in the last 10, 15 years, that just the way that the targeting is done is you'll get stuff kicked back and you'll be like, I don't know why I got kicked back. And now you're stuck in this loop with Meta trying to figure out why it got kicked back. SocialBAY has that integration, that like friendship, I would say, with those platforms. I've never seen one got kicked back.
She's got on the screen here, you guys. If you look at it, you got review. I mean, it's 4 steps. It's not hard.
Not difficult.
Review your post. Turn your post into an ad, review your targeting, make sure it's targeted the way you want, and set your budget.
Yeah.
And then it goes.
Yep. And it's got the retargeting too. I'd say this is kind of like for advertisers of the day, retargeting is kind of like the word of the year. Retargeting just means, and all of us have experienced this, is when you're shopping on Facebook or Instagram and you click on those cute shoes and you're like, "Ooh, these are cute shoes." And it takes you to another website and you're like, "Well, okay, I don't want the cute shoes, but they are really cute." And you go on to another platform on YouTube, you're on another website and you're like, "These shoes keep following me. I can't escape the shoes."
And
That's
somebody
called,
like me will actually buy the shoes.
yes, exactly, because you keep seeing it, right? That's retargeting. So when you see ad retargeting, that's all that means, is just think the cute shoes are following you. All right, and then this is what it looks like when you do get leads. So if you're looking for, I mean, this came through
They're
Emily.
buyers. Most of them are buyers.
Yeah, they're
So,
buyers.
Yeah, I would say by and far they're mostly buyers. I don't think I've received a seller lead yet.
Speed to lead for sure on these. And what's kind of nice is SocialBAY sends you a reminder. Following up with web leads within the first 5 minutes increases conversion chances by 9x.
Good luck.
Yeah. So speed to lead for sure. And I think some people, most agents get in the situation where they call once, they reach out once, maybe they send an email once,
and then they never say anything.
Then that's it.
They get a voicemail.
On average for internet lead generation, anything like that, is anywhere between 7 to, I looked it up actually. I think it was with Virginia or Emily, I can't remember. With one of our sales managers, looked it up and it was like, has it changed? Nope, it's still 7 to 12 touch points before that lead will actually convert. So don't give up on the first one. Continuously follow up. That's national average, 7 to 12 touch points.
And then the sellers, I mean, the results that they pump out,
yeah,
awesome. You know, that you can send to your sellers, and our assistant sends this out on a regular basis, and it just shows the seller we're busy, we're doing what we can. We have not had a seller unhappy with this type of data.
It goes to our we had a webinar a couple weeks ago. We were talking about the 7 pounds, where it's like the best things you can do to communicate with your clients is to tell them what you're going to do, you do it, and then you tell them that you did it. Well, this is your tell them what I did. So this is your little report card. You could send to them and say, look at what I did for you this last week.
Let's go to the next slide. And then this is a sample of the stats too that comes along with it. So it kind of puts a nice little report together with your, we look kind of cute there.
Yeah. I mean, and this would all be branded to you.
It's a good day.
And the point there is that all of this stuff, it doesn't necessarily need to be this platform. I mean, SocialBAY is really helpful. It's probably one of the best tools that you can have in real estate right now. But all of this stuff can be done on your own system or done on your own time things. But what is your budget? Who are you going to be marketing and advertising to? And where are they spending their time? And it's definitely going to be on social media. You cannot avoid it at this point with real estate.
So if you want to sign up, it's pretty simple. It's just the QR code right there. Some of you that are already on it, today was your kind of like your boost that you got to start coming up with your own content. And really, I mean, I've seen Sarah Powell, I see her here. She's been doing a great job with video. You start pumping this out and maybe some other channels and getting your content out. I know she's using SocialBAY and she's really pushing herself on video. So, work on creating content that you can distribute and get that engagement to come up higher. And it's $25 a month. It's an opt-in program. We're not saying you have to. It's, I think it's one of the most easiest ways.
And I just finished up taxes for us as our businesses and whatnot. This is something you can deduct at tax time. I mean, it's one of those ongoing expenses that's part of your business. And, it's part of that little advertising spend we talked at the very beginning with your budget. So, hopefully this was helpful for you guys. I do believe we had a couple questions. So I'm going to go through the chat. If there's something that you thought of we didn't cover, just throw it in the chat and I'll answer them as we kind of go through here. Looks like we had some cutting now in and out. So I'm sorry about that, you guys. Sounds like we had some issues with sound. And then how do we get the discount for SocialBAY? Yeah, so it is discounted. If you were to get this on your own, it is quite a bit more. You've got best choice pricing just by using our QR code that we had on the screen. And then is SocialBAY still valuable for agents who don't currently have listings? Absolutely. It gives you the ability to market other people's listings. So even if you don't have yours, you can use the value of the team behind you and use some of the advertising things around other people's listings if you'd like to. But there's more that's in that marketing center, that design center that you could leverage. Thousands and thousands of real estate templates you could use too. So yes, absolutely still a value, even if you do not have active listings.
Virginia, I think, is still our top user. Virginia, do you want to speak on what you're doing with SocialBAY?
So, a couple things to keep in mind is that you still should post stuff from you a little bit. The other thing is I do get tons of listing leads, but I subscribe to their listing advertisements. So what they do is I have people who download my listing guide. So that's kind of where my focus is right now because you lead with leads. And so I just pulled my list since I did SocialBAY, and I have over 543 leads, which
Wow.
it
That's amazing.
So you've been on a year
is
though, right?
Yeah.
amazing, but you know,
Yeah.
the lead is only as good as the lead you work. So we're working on systematizing it because
Yeah.
you should do that. You should have a place and a follow-up plan, even for the leads that come through there.
Yeah. People like guides. I like that you're leveraging that. I think people are suckers for it right now, especially those first-time home buyers. So if you're looking at picking up more buyers, they love the guides. They love the free guides. You got to
Mm-hmm.
think to yourself, what would you be willing to put in your personal information in order to get? And if it's not prompting you to take action, then is it going to take any other consumer to take action as well? Listings are great. People obviously want more information about listings. Guides are a great place to go as well.
So with their
Sign,
listing leads, Shannon, not to interrupt you,
yeah,
is that they do verify the information, and if they
yeah,
can find their more tax records and other things and verify their social media, they'll give that to you as well.
yeah, nice. So we'll take a verified lead any day. And yeah, it's some of the other things too, information. So I think we talked about there's guides. What other things would you use for advertising?
Market stats they
Market
have on there.
stats, newsletters. I mean, that's stuff that people want to put their information. I want to know about the market in 9837, whatever. They want to know hyper local information. They want to sign up for I don't know, like a listing valuation. I want to know how much my home is worth. Those would be things that would be
I appreciate
worth
Virginia sharing
advertising.
that because I didn't actually know that they had that. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool.
they do.
See, this is what we learn about, and we come to the Monday night webinars. We learn
Yeah,
about some things that other people are doing. We're like, dang, I should probably look into that.
yeah,
That's some good
yeah.
seller. I want seller leads too, Virginia, not just buyers.
Yeah,
I
good
have
stuff.
330 of them.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, and then it looks like Jory, you're having some issues with SocialBAY credit cards allowing you to pay for ads. Who do I update this? You'll have to work with SocialBAY. So part of the reason I love SocialBAY is unlike other systems that are out there, I have played the tech field for too long in the last year where their CS team is what they call them, their customer service team is absolutely awful, or their chat bots. They're not real people. So SocialBAY has live people. So if you're sending something in the chat or you're sending something, it might take a little bit longer, but they are real people that are responding to those messages that come through. So yes, Jory, you'll want to work with SocialBAY's customer service team to fix your credit card issue.
Yeah, we don't see any payments. The lead generation that you do, that Virginia was talking about, where she puts advertising up or uses Facebook or Instagram or whatever you're doing, you're placing the ads in the certain places. They handled that separately from the brokerage.
Yeah.
So that also,
yeah, we don't see it. We don't
one less
touch
thing I have to
it.
worry about.
Everything is for us. We don't see any payment on SocialBAY. All of that is handled individually to your account. Anna, you had a question about what Virginia had said. Virginia was saying that she's got guides. Yeah, you can direct them to basically a landing page for intaking information to get a buyer guide or a seller guide or something like that. There is capabilities within SocialBAY for that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Other questions you guys have? The buyers are definitely out there.
They are there.
Connecting.
Yep, we just got to make connections. I think advertise smarter than maybe what we've done in the past. They are there. And the buyers are unfortunately a little bit more picky. So we got to handle those objections of wanting a brand new refrigerator or it doesn't have a brand new roof and they're concerned about these things. We need to make sure we can handle those types of objections.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, hopefully
awesome.
this is helpful for you guys. Thanks for jumping on. Happy Monday. I know we've got an excellent Monday night coming this next week. I'm looking forward to it. We're not the primary speakers.
We've never had like an architecture company jump on. So we get prepared for that. As many of you know, I was accepted into architecture school And I've always been resistant to actually speak with an architect, but I thought, you know what?
It's a little PTSD, maybe. I don't know. But we have an architect coming to join us on Monday this next week. So stay tuned for that. And then we also, if you are in King County or Snohomish or Pierce, you didn't make it to the Sky Daddy mastermind that we had down in Pierce County, which was incredible.
It was
I had
incredible.
tons of takeaways after that. They are coming to the King County Mastermind this Thursday. So if you are in one of those three territories, it's like a do not miss kind of thing.
It's 12 o'clock on Thursday
Yep.
in our office in Tukwila
Yep.
if you're available this Thursday.
Yeah. So anybody who's wants to work with investors, is interested in development, subdivisions, DADUs, ADUs, permits. I mean, all of that stuff, building, anything like building adjacent. If you're not a builder yourself, this is really what you need to come and learn about. It's again, tons of takeaways for even me after that training. So hopefully we'll see you guys this Thursday for that. If not, we'll see you on Monday with our architect. Have a great week. If you've got other questions, come on board and give us a call. We'll take your phone call and hopefully help you with whatever it is you're working on this week.
Thanks, Patty.
Thanks, you guys.
Sorry.